In honor of the 2012 Academy Awards, we discuss this year's nominations for Best Director.
Hi, I'm Brenna.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Leah, and we're here to talk about our Oscar predictions for Best Director. It may be a little early, but that's never really stopped us before, and so we're going to talk about who we would like to win and who we think will win. Kevin, why don't you start us off?
Well, I think we need to talk about the snubs first, which would be Catherine Bigelow's Zero Dark 30 and Ben Affleck for Argo.
I would throw Quentin Tarantino into that mixture also.
That's true.
I think that there were some old stalwarts, and then I think that there were just some people that they were just like, no.
I think they went, you've got the Best Picture nomination, that's enough. It's been a while since a film has won Best Picture that also wasn't nominated for Best Director.
Let's start things off then with Michael Haneke, who directed Amour.
Han. Coucou. C'est moi.
I don't think Michael Haneke would win Best Director, simply because he's kind of an unusual director. His films tend to be a little unsettling and creepy. Even though this was called Amour and it was kind of a lovely film, there were still elements that were a little unnerving, and it was kind of depressing.
There is an element of creepiness that is going on in this film, and it really has to do with a very subtle touch that forces the audience to really pay attention to the story.
Yes.
And a lot of that is stylistic. It's doing long takes, continuous takes, very little cutting and editing, and he works so well with actors. There's no music going on in here, so there's no tipping you off in terms of what you should think or what you should do.
While I wasn't entirely crazy about the story, I felt that his direction was amazing. The way he commands the camera with these long, static shots and these ridiculously long takes is very impressive, as well as his direction of the actors. However, I don't think that he's going to win. Haneke was also nominated for Best Foreign Language Film. I think it's going to win that, and that's going to take its place for this.
So what about Ben Zeitlin for Beasts of the Southern Wild?
They think we all gonna drown down here, but we ain't going nowhere.
This was actually a really original movie. I thought he did a lovely job with not only the cinematography and the action, but he directs non-actors really, really well. Both of the lead actors had never had any experience, and he does such an amazing job with them.
Yeah! Woo! Lord! Look what we got! Look what we got! Gotcha! We got it! Say I got you!
I got you!
Yeah!
And he created this world and this original story that was just really, really impressive.
I, too, like you, really like the work of Ben Zeitlin. This is, again, his first feature, and he worked on developing the story and the screenplay. He did an amazing job with finding these actors just off, from local talent. It's an incredible story, something we've certainly never seen before on the big screen, and I was just quite amazed.
Beasts of the Southern Wild would be what I would want to win for Best Director, mainly because I'm impressed with how he handled his subject material. I'm impressed that he took the dirty, gritty South and made it beautiful and charming and absolutely fascinating. Yeah. And on top of that, he has these performances. To get that performance out of a child is beyond impressive. However, I don't think he's going to win because this is his first film, and the Academy usually doesn't give anything to freshman directors.
And I'm going to agree with you. I think that this would be the choice of who I would want to win. But I agree. I think he's a first-time director, and unfortunately, they're going to say he has time, so. Ang Lee for Life of Pi. Ang Lee did a really great job with this because it's a very difficult book to adapt. Creating this epic story that was understandable and relatable to young and old alike. Plus the fact that he took a newcomer actor and got this performance out of him while he's working with nobody because the animals were added in later. In fact, most of the sets were fake too. I feel like that's a really difficult stunt to pull off, and I think he actually did a really, really magnificent job with it.
He's a director that really works with large canvases and grand scale, and he did really great stuff here with CGI. The problem for me is that the CGI pushed the larger themes of the story to the margins, specifically dealing with philosophy and God, and allowed the CGI to take center stage.
I think that this is actually what's going to win Best Director. It's an impressive adaptation. The source material is very difficult to turn a book on philosophy into a coherent story. It's a beautiful visualization of a very abstract metaphor.
Of course, we need to speak about Steven Spielberg, who directed Lincoln.
Euclid says this is self-evident.
You see, there it is, even in that 2,000-year-old book of mechanical law. It is a self-evident truth that things which are equal to the same thing are equal to each other.
I'm a huge Spielberg fan. I have been ever since I was a kid. This just, for me, isn't one of his stronger films. It was well shot. Directing was good, except for the script is kind of talky, and it just got to be a little long-winded and HBO film-ish. But I think what I liked about it was that some of the shots, iconic images, made me feel like this is such a great epic story. There was something missing for me, and I'm gonna blame him.
Yeah, what's missing is a pulse. And as a director, he failed to do what I think is an essential bottom line task, which is rein things in and make them cohesive. So much of this film is on the surface, including the way that it looks. All he has to do is hire Janusz Kaminski and John Williams and create some nice composition and a couple of nice tableaus, and then I'll just steep it in this overproduced music, and that will give the film the energy that it needs to make it grand. And he's trying to artificially inseminate this film with importance, and it's just not there.
So it seems that Lincoln and Spielberg is everybody's favored choice for what's going to win, or everybody's safe choice. But I'm not so sure about that. I don't think it's going to win. I think that his snub last year for War Horse was kind of an indication that maybe the Academy's tired of him. Then again, his inclusion this year might mean that they're trying to make up for those slights, but we'll
I think
see.
he's just the Meryl Streep of directors. He will get nominated for anything that he does, including the phone book. And some days he'll win, some days he won't. And lastly, David O. Russell, who directed Silver Linings Playbook.
So is this the girl you wrote about?
Yeah.
What? You wrote about me? I'm the girl?
He wrote about you, all right.
What did he say?
He said you guys was helping each other out, and you were nice, and you had a mouth on you, but...
Whoa, okay,
You're a little mouthy, but...
David O. Russell is my choice for who should win and will win. He was able to deliver a manic, crazy, wholly entertaining film that was, I felt, very adult. He was mixing a lot of stylistic choices, certainly in terms of camera. He was able to pull really compelling performances out of Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper. I actually liked these people. I felt for these people. I was sucked into their crises. David O. Russell was able to pull that off.
I don't think he's going to win because they don't vote for rom-coms. Rom-coms don't win anymore.
This is true.
True. I really like the direction of this. I'm not a big David O. Russell fan, but I was with this the whole time. I really like the characters, and like you, I agree. I don't think David O. Russell's gonna win, mostly because it's a rom-com, and they just don't they get nominated, they just don't win anymore.
Let's wrap up our discussion on the Best Director Oscar nominees and talking about our favorites of who we want to win and our predictions of who will win.
Well, I am going to pick David O. Russell for both of those categories, who I think will win and who I think should win for Silver Linings Playbook.
I would like to see Ben Zeitlin win for Beasts of the Southern Wilds, but I do think Ang Lee's going to take it for Best Director.
I agree with you. I think Zeitlin should win, but I think that Ang Lee is going to win.
All right, well, we'll just have to tune in and find out.
Here's the movies,
Yay,
and the
to
directors, and the
directors.
Oscars. I think he should win just because he has Jennifer Lawrence in yoga pants for most of the movie.
Sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.